I mentioned this last time, and I thought that this would actually be a really fun one for stream. I saw the first part when it came out, and I haven't seen the second part, and I was talking to Shift, and he said the second part is the one that's like his pride and joy, so I thought it'd be fun to just do the whole thing again. Bikini Bottom has one of the most interesting fucking speedrun histories of any game ever. It's so wacky, and not many people apparently know how crazy it gets, so I thought this would be a really fun one.
Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is slated to release this year on all current generation platforms and PC. You might be asking yourself, why? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm SM. In 2002, SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman was released for the PlayStation 2 and GameCube, making it the first entry in SpongeBob's 3D lineup. And this game was not initially received as a treasure.
Cause shit's ass.
What the f is that? SpongeBob betrayed us!
Oh, it's from the lost episode.
Or burn.
I remember that.
Burn. Burn, I say. Burn.
I forgot all about that.
Should not be played. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for
Bikini
Bottom.
We're cooking.
A 3D platformer and adventure game with a simple plot. Plankton creates an army of robots to procure the Krabby Patty secret formula, and they run amok. You, as SpongeBob, and his best friends Patrick and Sandy, must foil Plankton's scheme. The game, despite receiving mixed reviews upon release, became a huge success.
Pretty good
the
though, all
SpongeBob
things
video
considered.
game franchise ablaze. The game sold
Higher than, like,
3.22
Cyberpunk.
million copies worldwide across all consoles, with the PlayStation 2 version contributing more than half of those sales at 1.7 million. The game's fans, where were they? Well, the fandom still existed, but it was scattered, ununified. Unlike those of other popular games
Like
from
Chaos
its era,
Emeralds.
no serious efforts to keep the game alive and interesting gained any traction. It seemed Battle for Bikini Bottom had missed the golden opportunity of riding the internet's rapid growth during the early 2000s.
God, this is so nostalgic. I don't know how many people will remember, but Siglimic made Twitch. Twitch is forever indebted to Siglimic. The only time Twitch ever really started to pop off was when Siglimic was doing Mario runs. Oh my god, it was so good. Oh, those days. I remember spending like most of a summer watching Siglimic's runs on Twitch. That was like the only time people would ever talk about the site, because Justin TV had just fizzled out, and then it was all on Siglimic's shoulders to carry an entire live streaming site by his fucking self. So good. Those runs were legendary.
Would someone like to try this speedrun? It would be getting 75 golden spatulas, then beating the final boss. Maybe someone could do a 100% run if it isn't too long. The game's kind of long, so multi-segmented runs will do.
Aww.
These cries for attention were usually met with contempt from more established members of the speedrunning community.
Hey!
You. Requesting runs around here rarely gets anywhere. Since you seem to have enough interest in a run to post a topic, why not you?
True. Get fucked.
He didn't. Over 1 year after the creation of KT's thread on August 18th, 2011, a user named Yoshimaster replied saying that he got a run that was around 2 hours and 30 minutes long, using a new, groundbreaking glitch. He posted a video containing a
wait, this
maneuver on
glitch
the
was
Jellyfish
found
Fields
back
taxi
then?
pad, which resulted in an odd glitch that appeared to allow SpongeBob to go out of bounds without being stopped.
Holy shit.
This glitch, which later became known as hand disabling, is performed by leaving a zone with the hand on screen. The game would usually prevent the player from jumping into this ditch to collect the spatula before accessing the challenge, but with Yoshimaster's new glitch, he could collect the
this guy
spatula
really
without
fucking
being
busted it
stopped.
wide open
But the
early.
big time save from this. Meanwhile, KT had claimed another world record of 2 hours and 37 minutes on October 24th, 2011, still with no video available. On October 23rd of 2011,
why are they accepting that
KT
then?
claimed he'd achieved. When he finally found means of capturing his PlayStation 2's gameplay, KT claimed he recorded a full run and was, editing out the loading screens
Oh my
to
God,
avoid
this guy's a
sacrificing
fraud!
too much valuable time. May 24th, 2012,
Rocky.
Cole posted several videos containing new strategies, which actually included the Robo Sponge Skip found by Jlun2, and also the long-awaited police station climb. That's right, Cole figured out how to reach the top of the police station by bouncing between the hub barrier
What a
and the
cool
police
way of
station
doing
walls
it.
repeatedly. This discovery truly established Cole as an abstract thinker and a problem solver. It seemed all this time while Cole was working on sequence breaking and reorganizing spatulas, the task community was trying to straight up skip the entire game.
Yeah.
As 2012 carried on, it became clear.
Fun fact about that, when Rehydrated came out, there was a way of basically skipping the whole game. How did it work again? You could basically beat Rehydrated, and I think it was 2 minutes. Let me see what the record was. Don't know if you still can. And I think this video predates the Rehydrated release, so it probably won't be addressed here, but I think it was like 2 minutes and you could beat the whole game. It takes you right to the end. Let's see. 1 minute and 11 seconds was the record here. But yeah, you could skip the entire game in Rehydrated. It's not fun, which is why I didn't run it. It's just a menu glitch, if I remember correctly. But you see, like, it's not a really fun speedrun. I love super short ones, but only when they have cool tech. Menu glitches are just never fun as a speedrun. Also, before I forget, because someone recommended I look at this, let me see it real quick. There's a Nosferatu speedrun that he wants me to try, because it's 41 seconds. Let me see if that has any cool tech. This does look kind of wacky. He's just throwing sand on him? What is that?
As the evil Malachi falls defeated, you...
Okay, I'll learn the speedrun. You're right, that does look kind of fun. That did look kind of fun.
9 days later, Hazel completed a race in 1:45:29, another new world record. And 4 days after that, Cole took the world record back again with a 1:42:52, beating her in the race by 2 minutes. This
and it's only been 3 years since starting it.
Between the two, while collaborating on their
fucking
passion
popping off.
Cole uploaded an astonishing time of 1:27:31 to his YouTube channel.
Jesus Christ, Cole's the chosen one, the prodigy.
Left Hazel's personal best.
The actual fucking goofy goober.
At this point, Cole had solidified himself as the fastest Battle for Bikini Bottom speedrunner.
Big damage boost? What the fuck is this? Big out of bounds? Sponge drowning? Nice. I think the current world record isn't too much lower than an hour 27. So this guy was really ahead.
And on August 17th, 2013, Cole pulled off some really sick shit.
That was cute. Gave it that old, like, Quake Ultra Kill shit. Or Unreal Tournament Ultra Kill shit. Yeah, this game just goes fucking hard for no reason.
Oh. Holy crap.
In its place, SpongeBob's Dream was completed earlier than intended by the developers. Thanks to Cole's
Fuck the
original
developers.
sequence breaks from 2012, it's possible to enter SpongeBob's Dream before unlocking the third
Before I
level.
forget, I wanted to look this up before actually starting this. What else did they make post Battle for Bikini Bottom? I think this was like their actual only game. Like they closed after this. Curse of the Flying Dutchman or something. They were Heavy Iron Studios, right? Yeah. So Battle for Bikini Bottom, 2003. Then they made SpongeBob SquarePants movie. They made the Incredibles game and the Incredibles Rise of the... So they only ever made like video or cartoon or animation video game tie-ins. In 2020, they made a Pac-Man game. 2017, they made something called Amazing Odyssey. 2015, something called Fat City. And then something called Harley Pasternak's Hollywood Workout. What the fuck is that? What is Harley Pasternak's Hollywood Workout? What could that possibly even mean?
Pumping those elbows and arms forward and back.
Man, imagine making Battle for Bikini Bottom and then making this.
On this one. Picture yourself
What a glow up. Oh wait, what is this? They co-developed with Crash Bandicoot, Marvel's Avengers, and Black Ops Cold War. So they develop stinkers, but co-develop AAA games. Fuck, what was it? I think it was Jimmy Neutron. Oh, I have to look up Jimmy Neutron games now. There was this Jimmy Neutron PC game that a long time ago I was like deep into the speedrun community for, just waiting for when they finally fully optimized it. because it has such a cool speedrun route, but it's still kind of long for me. It was like 40-minute world record, but I knew it could go lower. But I haven't checked in on it in a while. Here it is. Jimmy Neutron versus Jimmy Negatron. It had such a cool speedrun route. Let's see. They've got it down to 11 minutes?
Okay.
Holy shit. Wow. They popped off. Oh my god. Yeah, like I said, this was one that I followed a long time ago. And at the time I was like, damn, whatever it was, like 40 minutes, it's a little long for me, but it's kind of cool. Like, the glitches were cool. And I knew it could go lower, and I was right, all the way down to 11 minutes. I adored this game as a kid, holy fuck. I never played it. I just saw the speedruns for it, and thought it was, like, goofy and cool. But yeah, it looks like you can skip that whole thing.
Cruise boosting! Fuck yeah! Slow? Fuck that! Cruise boost that bitch! Oh yeah!
This does seem to be a game changer. Jesus Christ.
Control. This shit is sick. Jump you can't make? Fuck that! The world is your oyster with cruise boosting! Just
fuck, dirty barnacles, it's going in!
Yeah. Doing this caused the cruise bubble to interrupt the bubble bowl, setting its speed boost to go on indefinitely. This speed boost is what we'll refer to as a cruise boost. This interruption causes SpongeBob's increased speed from bowling to be added as a constant to his total speed, causing a new force to push him regardless of whether a player is inputting a movement.
It doesn't seem that fast.
SpongeBob can run with his walking speed plus however fast the interrupted bowling shot was. This discovery sends the old school BFBB Skype group into frenzy. Now,
yeah, I mean, it's clearly a huge difference, but it doesn't seem that big.
SpongeBob can potentially cross more gaps, traverse levels slightly faster, and even moonwalk.
That cruise boost is kind of yucky. Cole's really been in it for the long haul, an OG.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm SM Loader. See you all in the next phase.
God, it's so good.
Subscribe.
Battle for Bikini Bottom speedruns are just so fucking wild. And we're not even to the modern day. Please, can we watch it? Yeah, we'll watch part 2. When I was talking to Shift about it, he said part 2 is his pride and joy, so I definitely want to watch part 2. And like I said, I had seen this when it had first uploaded a long time ago. I obviously didn't remember a ton of it. But I don't think I ever saw part 2. So that will be entirely new for me.
With experience collecting every spatula in the game in a variety of scenarios, Fuff's movement would quickly evolve to the best the game had seen up until this point. Fuff would soon achieve the first 108 in Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Must say it's really impressive that he was able to figure out all this just by watching runs. True.
Though Fuff's world record still used the
runs. Though I also did that with House of Caravan, just saying.
Still some small
there's no tutorials, just I watched it and
Fuff's runs showcased early attempts to manipulate Robo Sandy's clothesline move by luring her to the edge of the stage, which would cause it to initiate.
The game was only 30 seconds long.
And in the the new world record holder was making an effort to polish the game he'd inherited, allowing for more consistent paces and faster improvement. Fuff again improved his world record to a 108.24.
We're approaching that 1 hour barrier.
By now, his stream community was far more established and supported his efforts to optimize the game. Some members of the older community even returned to watch Fuff's improvement, and they were eager to ignite the chat whenever he entered the final boss on world record pace. It was reminiscent of the good old days.
To be fair, it's only been a year. Like, it's not like it was ancient.
Present, yet still, many could not get over the hurdle of learning to speedrun. That question. His primary motivation behind achieving this goal was allowing himself to create a tutorial video for Kona and the rest of the small community beginning to form around his channel. And at this point, Shift probably wasn't even aware of what times Fuff was achieving. It seemed he was oblivious to anything outside of his own community, and the same could be said for the other small communities on their own islands as well. That is,
speedrunning without even knowing what the world record is.
Invited both Shift and Fuff. Yet another new world record holder in the same year. The game's competition had been revived, yet both runners knew there was still lots of room for improvement. Fuff would demonstrate this 4 days later in response to Shift's first world record.
Man, this is malicious.
Your time is up.
There's no
With
mercy.
both runners so close to the next minute mark,
Piling corpses
the
in the
race to
streets.
106 was on. Shift and Fuff's competition would mirror that of Cole's and Hazel's from years ago, even to the extent of representing their respective countries. With USA and Canada chants flooding Twitch chat, the second renaissance was in full force. On June 11th, 2016, viewers checked into Fuff's stream to find him on insane pace, nearly 50 minutes into the run. He was already on the perfect line for a 106, over half a minute ahead of his 107.03.
He's not built for it.
Could even skip straight to the 105 if the stars aligned.
Yep. Choke. Blew it. Oof. Stinkmaster.
Fuff was unable to clutch a 105, but did close out the first 106, and this run set the stakes way higher.
Tactics and fast.
Yeah, what'd I tell you?
Yo!
Will SpongeBob be able to neutralize the giant robot's brain?
Let's go!
Shift reclaimed the world record by a margin of 8 seconds, bringing it back to the USA. With both runners actively grinding, the community wondered who would achieve the first 105. Fuff's best paces were faster by far,
then from out of
but Shift's
nowhere,
consistency with major tricks allowed him to compete. Then finally, on June 27th, 2016, the first 105 in Battle for Bikini Bottom 80% was achieved. At last, Shift achieved a minute break of his own, and split really, really early. But it had been done. The run was retimed to 105.52, and now it was Fuff's turn to answer back.
Wait, no, stop it, stop, no! No! Fucking stop! Where can I even cruise boost? What am I gonna do? Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
Some admired Shift's display of passion, while others just couldn't hang. Members of the community questioned how Shift's behavior would impact the image of their community, while others became hooked on his intense personality. But Shift claimed that venting allowed him to cool down.
It's fucking SpongeBob.
Time lost to avoid tilting. And
we need him to be more professional.
Seemed to back this
Our
up.
PR department.
A good showcase, though.
Runners grew more passionate as well.
You didn't do Sandy's dream.
As summer progressed, the shared endeavor to revive Battle for Bikini Bottom formed a small friend group, which seemed to be a first in the game's history. In the old era, the runners were merely just friendly acquaintances.
Wait, is this real? Is this a real story from you? I used to try to speedrun this. I spent over 200 hours and ended up not being able to beat my score from playing the game normally. Fucking rip 200 hours, man. Jesus Christ. What? How? Bro, 200 hours is actually an absurd amount of time to dedicate to one thing. Like that's a lot. 200 hours is enough to actually get close to 99ing something like rune crafting in RuneScape. That's a fucking ton. You couldn't beat like the normal score? Jesus! I expect more of you. Come on.
No!
Yeah, who did this voice? It is spot on.
Jolly Swagger, Cole's young ward. Trained from birth by the wise sage. He's genetically engineered to put up with everyone else's bullshit.
Jesus Christ! Fuff, no! Fuff!
And Fuff, the 118th, makes the sponge run smooth like maple syrup, or some other Canadian thing. Here one day, gone the next. The international circle jerk of super acquaintances.
And Roston.
And although Cole lurked
whoever
in the
did that
shadows,
voiceover fucking crushed it.
Mermaid Man profile picture, Shift eventually got a run that finished with a 104.21, a world record, yet the exact date is unknown and the VOD no longer exists. But when Shift finally got another run past the Nut Glide, he'd be sure to preserve that one.
Oh! Holy shit! Holy fucking shit! It's over, boys. It's finally over. Holy shit.
Faster than 106, 105, and 104 left.
That is groundbreaking tech. The big nut.
The community paraded about how the game had finally reached its limits. But deep down, they knew there was still a lot more work to be done out there. 2 days later, Shift broke the
There was no
world
webcam,
record
but I imagine
again
Shift
with
was
a
also
1:36,
doing this with his hands.
This time using the... At this point, the already existing community surrounding BFBB and Shift's stream was becoming more and more passionate about the run beyond simply indulging in nostalgia. Other members of the general speedrunning community noticed Shift's daily attempts to lower the world record throughout the summer of 2016, and he began to build a significant following solely through speedrunning BFBB. He kept the game as one of his side focuses while preparing for his showcase of Ed and Eddie and his adventures in the mainstream
Just talking about
marathon, Summer Games Done Quick. During this showcase, he'd put on an outstanding display for over 100,000 viewers to see, and gained quite a following from it. After GDQ, Kona decided to make Battle for Bikini Bottom his main focus.
You know what's never been at AGDQ
Yeah, man,
or any of them?
Jelly
House of Caravan. Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine and dies.
Well, until he like
any game we've ever speedran.
But still, I want to bop him.
They're not ready for that.
And
they
then
can't
he'll
handle
probably
that.
bot me right.
But these tiny optimizations were going to become far more important if 101 was ever going to happen. The game's available time saves were far smaller at this point with the community's current understanding of the game mechanics. Some routing changes
This
were only made
docu-series
just to
slash whatever
save
is quite
menu
awesome.
Scrolls.
Well, it is, and the best part is it comes from the actual like madman himself, Shift. So it's an entire, well, not just him, of course. It was the whole community effort, but it's really always cool to see like the #1 player in the game be the one reporting on things as they happened and how things progressed. I always think that's the best part because you get like the top player perspective.
Would need to dig deep to push the current route further. He disappeared for a few days and returned with new motivation to push the time past.
He's jerking himself off.
Minute
well, who better to report on the history of the game than the person who's best at it? For example, let's say, hypothetically, House of Caravan was getting a speedrun documentary going to Netflix. I would, of course, have to be the one to talk about it, because I was the best. Right? You'd want that perspective. Who's more knowledgeable than the person that's the best at it? Now, as long as you don't check the speedrun records for House of Caravan, it would make sense.
Watch Battle for Bikini Bottom throughout
An unbiased
each day.
view.
With so many outlets to watch the game,
Bro, it's not politics, it's
prospective
speedrunning
runners
Battle for
continued to
Bikini
gain
Bottom.
interest. The group made sure
Why do you
to
need
keep
an
the full
unbiased
80%
view? It's just the
tutorial,
fucking
along
history
with
of the
portal to their
speedrun.
friends' streams readily available for
What do you mean?
anyone tuning in.
Don't get global yet, because we're going again.
It was clear by now that Shift was improving at managing stress in front of live audiences, and with
Why?
that,
Get heated.
his attempts became
fun.
astronomically better.
I should have heard
that
a
same
desk
day,
flip over.
Shift tied the summer's resurgence of Battle for Bikini Bottom, the resilience of the community, and his own self-growth into one speedrun.
Oh, he's going turbo mode! Ah, he's dialed in! $101.52, I'm calling it. Fuck.
Dropping the mic.
The 101.46 became one of Shift's most
And then pick the mic
iconic
up again
runs,
and put it in your
gaining
ass.
significant traction
Let's
on
go.
YouTube and causing him to reach the 1,000 subscriber mark on the platform. They began discussing the possibility of Battle for Bikini Bottom being accepted to Games Done Quick.
That
the
was a
game was
big
rejected
moment.
unconditionally in the past when Colin Hazel tried submitting to GDQ events, even dating back to 2013. Hazel even went as far to plan out her talking points for commentary had the game actually been accepted, staying hopeful each and every time.
That's sad.
It was something that
Aw.
meant the world to them, a chance to display their years of ingenuity on a stage for thousands to enjoy. Before the summer's revival of Battle for Bikini Bottom, Kona consulted GDQ committee member Vulagin regarding the possibility of BFBB's premiere in the marathon, who claimed there just wasn't enough evidence that SpongeBob and speedrunning had enough crossover audience to make it work.
What are you talking? I've said this quite a few times. I'm not the biggest GDQ fan in recent years. But, like, what are you talking about? There's not enough crossover in SpongeBob fans and speedrunning? Why does that matter? Half the fucking games at GDQ don't even have fan bases. When I tuned in on the last one, they were speedrunning some fucking obscure SNES game where there's no glitches or anything. They just, like, go straight and shoot sometimes. What a weird reason.
Following this PB, however, Shift finally hit an improvement wall.
Oh, no.
But exactly 2 weeks later, Shift would complete a run that would shock everyone.
Even God. Jesus Christ.
1 flat 32. Shift had completed a run with so few mistakes, it would go on to initiate the first world record drought caused solely by optimization of the
Well,
run,
to be
as
fair,
opposed
it's
to
only been
hiatuses.
Shift getting world
Despite
records
grinding
for the last
multiple
2
hours
months
each
there.
day, this time would stand untouched for a while in comparison to the veritable grab bag of summer records. For their knowledge at the time, the run had been shredded down to its core, revealing what everyone believed would be the final, crowning achievement in Battle for Bikini Bottom speedrunning. The 59.
Yes,
For
sub
titles
1
of
hour.
Past, present, and future, taking a
Yes,
full digit off the
that's
run
what I'm
was
fucking
viewed
talking
as the
about.
holy grail for communities optimizing games, clocking in at just above the 60-minute mark. And with the world record now wedged right between the hour and the 101 marks,
Oh.
debates sprang up over whether or not it
Holy
was
Grail.
even possible. To give you some perspective,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
but
been
is
a
this a
ride.
diss track?
Grinding Bob. Losing runs. I guess I had to lose those runs to get to this one. Now some of you
Hey, wait, is Ringo the one to break the hour mark from out of
trying
nowhere?
to get out. Just remember, you could be doing this shit.
on September 17th, Shift uploaded a video called Hammer Skip, which showcased a clean, modernized hammer AI manipulation where he also jumped off the hammer's head, but this time set up a damage boost. By inputting a frame-perfect triple jump out of the boost, the cliff could be cleared without waiting for SpongeBob to drown and respawn. As a quick refresher, the window to hit these types of jumps, missing the old-school fountain jump or the Goo Lagoon tower jump to the sock landed the player on safe ground to try again. Each miss only cost a few seconds. With Hammer Skip, however, there was the added
It's all or
potential
nothing.
of drowning and having to reset.
You
the
either
whole
make it
run
first try or you
if
go
the
to
one
jail.
frame input was
Fucking
missed.
thrown in the slammer.
There was SpongeBob.
This is why they
In
consider
order to
Battle for
properly
Bikini
clip
Bottom
through the
speedrunners
lasers,
to be like
you must
firefighters.
in the ledge get up
This
animation.
is so fucking dangerous, some of these strats.
In other words, moving ledge rather than hovering into it made this first section of the new museum strategy the most fearsome segment in the
Hey, they don't call it
entire
Route
game
Z, Route
thus
Z
far.
for nothing.
It had to be timed perfectly. This tire was actually the same one
God damn,
used to clear the
this
level
level
as
looks
Sandy,
nuts.
but this time, rather than just being able to slowly glide to it, SpongeBob has to remove his cruise boost, drop below the tire, turn 180 degrees, and grab the ledge to secure the clip through the wall.
What?
Without a cruise boost active,
What
SpongeBob
the
regains his standard
fuck,
turning
man?
speed,
Holy
which allows him
shit.
to make that 180-degree turn to grab the ledge. Because the strategy made the same tire cycle that Sandy
probably
took,
only saves,
the
I think, like
only
8
time
seconds,
saved
right?
came from not having to switch to Sandy at the bus stop outside of the museum. The full strategy was quickly named SpongeBob Museum and saved merely 5 seconds.
Not
off
even
the
8.
80% run for all
Not
of that
even
extra
8.
effort. During this time, when Battle for Bikini Bottom's world record had finally
Anything
found
for that
stability,
sub-hour,
the inner
though,
circle of
goddamn
friends
it.
began organizing community
Gamers
events.
deserve
Though
it.
Kona had announced his retirement, and these streams were quite successful, often peaking at over 300 viewers and creating many
Good
memorable
shit.
moments.
He's ahead by so much. If he goes for it, he's insane. He's actually crazy if he goes for it.
He's a clinical madman. Lock him up.
Got that ledge, man.
A psychopath.
And of course, it introduced Shift's viewers to some of the other community members that they weren't aware of, while giving newer members a chance to get involved.
I gotta rip some ass.
Battle for Bikini Bottom's close-knit group of friends was evolving into an expansive community.
Thanks, Resub Godslayer. Make your own GDQ.
With a community of runners grinding for improvement.
Before people misunderstand, I think GDQ as like a concept, I really like what GDQ does. I think they do great work. But over the years, I think the way they go about their GDQ, especially with the selection process as well as who's allowed to even run in the first place, I think is unnecessarily strict and takes a lot of like the organic fun out of the event that it used to have. So I don't want anyone to think like I hate GDQ and I hate what they do, because I really do like GDQ and everything about it conceptually, as well as the runners that always do great work and the actual organization of the event. But they make it such a corporate process on trying to be like squeaky clean, super family friendly. Anything that's maybe in a gray area of PG-13's usually pretty bad. They outright will ban runners for things that I think are rather trivial. So I just, on the whole, don't really appreciate the very corporatized direction that it's taken over the years. That's all I'm saying. So I don't want anyone to like misconstrue where I stand on GDQ.
Battle for Bikini Bottom
Let's
80%
go!
was accepted to HDQ 2017. This would be the first time BFBB, or Any SpongeBob game, for that matter, would be played at a Games Done Quick event. One step closer to the dream, Shift would now select the commentary couch for the upcoming show.
Oh, it's gotta be Hazel. It's gotta be Cole.
One of their old favorites had not been left behind. At this point, Cole and Hazel had emerged from the shadows after hearing that their passion project had been accepted to the marathon. So Shift's absolute priority was to have them both by his side while showing the world how far their game had come. But unfortunately, due to travel complications, Hazel was unable to attend the event.
What the fuck?
Therefore, through hosting race marathons on Shift's channel, the community was able to raise just enough money to crowdfund Cole's trip to Awesome Games Done Quick.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's another thing. Why doesn't AGDQ just pay for the runners to attend? They make so much money. They could absolutely cover travel.
G59 was
Shift, come on down. You're now a partnered streamer. How does it feel, buddy? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Shift became partnered on Twitch through streaming speedruns, strat hunting, and community events of
It's all going right, baby.
Battle for Bikini Bottom. To this new, passionate crowd, this was how the game was meant to be played. Battle for Bikini Bottom had transcended the constraints of nostalgic reminiscence.
If you're not cruise boosting, turn the fucking game off.
Gameplay and 59 was no longer a matter of being barely achieved with a near-perfect run, as assumed months prior. It was now looking extremely doable, and Shift's greatest adversary was himself. Well, that, and the floating wheel in the sky.
That's what I'm saying, that fucking nut glide is tough. We've seen so many runs die there.
For all of 2016, this was the ultimate point of contention for all BFBB speedrunners.
This trick ruined my fucking life.
Yeah, I had sex with some girls after I told them I knew how to.
Texas Sponge Glide.
It was pretty.
Meaningless sex.
Texas Sponge Glide had been found during the explosion of new strategies following cruising. And nearly 3 years later, it was still an enigma. The runners just could not figure out what caused the glide to stick or send SpongeBob skydiving feet first. And by now, Shift had implemented a personal best playback camera to compare his current best times to his live attempts. Just look at how close the end of this run truly was. Shift PB'd by 1 second, 59 barely out of reach once again. At this point, Shift was getting some paces with potential to improve his time by over half a minute. Battle for Bikini Bottom's 2016 began with hopeful retirees.
He needs a real challenger.
And finished with an expansive,
serious
community having experienced several. More than 9 minutes of world record
improvement. Oh, actually, Red Moss is right there.
Showcase in Games Done Quick. After losing countless 59s to this late game monstrosity, it appeared to have finally been solved.
We finally got the raid boss down.
Another arcane, field-based gatekeeper from the Cole era had been slain. Without this major roadblock or fears of losing runs in Texas past the 50-minute mark, Shift was now fully confident in his ability to beat the game in under 1 hour.
Oh, he has a free 1 hour now.
2 days later, Shift started his usual stream, completely silent.
Sub 10 minutes.
But Shift had apparently lost his voice from illness and told everyone not to expect the run to define an era on this day. And surely enough, he was right. They'd get both of them.
Uh-oh. Maybe tier 1 God Cactus. He's going full Route Z. Nothing's being held back. It's raw! Easy rock skip, too? We might be looking at a 57. Free Texas glide. And wins the 50-50. Oh!
You want to see me do it again?
What a fucking machine.
This time is gonna sit for
He sounds dead. Well, how would you sound after you just saved Bikini Bottom?
On January 4th, 2017, the Battle for Bikini Bottom community slept soundly, knowing their game had finally been beaten in under 1 hour. 10 days after the 59s, it would be the community's time to shine.
Oh!
Battle for Bikini Bottom
I totally forgot.
AGDQ was scheduled for
it hasn't even
January
happened
14th,
yet.
2017 at 9
Yeah, we were still
a.m.
like in the
Eastern
very
Time.
beginning of 2017.
Cole's trip was fully funded, and the other couch members were good to go. With the hour-long run now scheduled for 8 a.m., the community feared that many waking up to
Optimal
see the run
time.
at 9 a.m. would miss the whole thing.
Jesus Christ.
That no matter the
The
outcome,
gang.
this would be historic. Cole and Shift, the faces
Look at
of the game
short-haired
during their
Shift.
respective eras, alongside two runners who had
Bro, look at that volume. That hair, man. So much fucking volume. It's like an extra 6 inches off his head. Fucking jealous, man. That's crazy. Yeah, maybe it's not even hair. Maybe his brain's just that big. And it's just like hidden in here in this dense forest.
And they've really pushed the game, so look forward to that coming up in just a moment.
A lot of enthusiasm there. I like it. That was good. Yeah. God, I hope he world records at GDQ.
You guys are going to be entertained, trust me.
He's going for Route Z.
At first try.
Nice.
There we go.
That was really good.
And everyone has their own little setup. And we got a first try.
The full-blown Route Z at GDQ.
This whole process of waiting for him to slam. Thanks, guys. And we're coming up. And time.
Hey, a 102 at the big stage.
90,000
Okay.
watched live as Shift disabled the hand on the jellyfish taxi pad. And by the time Shift hit the final fuse, that number had doubled. 180,000 watched live as Shift performed the game's most iconic tricks, even nailing Hammer Skip and SpongeBob Museum for all to see.
Cole was the original runner of this game. Gave us the baseline for what this game is today. We probably
How
wouldn't even, none of us would be
cute.
here without him right now. So I'd like to give a shout out, personal shout out to Cole right here on the couch, getting SpongeBob and a GDQ. Who would have
How
thought,
Jesus,
game's
how
really taking everybody
incredibly
by surprise.
wholesome.
You guys too for supporting.
The run
Hey,
was
thanks
such
to
an
Tier 1
overwhelming
Jared.
success that
Fuck
Shift
yeah,
was
man.
offered a person. Battle for Bikini Bottom had become a sensation.
I imagine it was their
The
most
showcase
viewed
run
single
even caught
game
the
during that
attention of Jason
GDQ.
Horner. See you all
So good.
in the new era.
So fucking good.
Subscribe and ring that bell to know when parts 3 and 4 are available to watch.
God, it's so fucking good. Oh yeah, Shift also has like really long hair now. But yeah, I found Shift's, I don't remember when. There was a clip that I saw of him where he was talking about how much he dedicated to this one game. It was a clip about how he turned down social like gatherings or like going out with friends in order to perfect his Battle for Bikini Bottom speedrunning and stream it. And I remember seeing that and I was like, holy shit, what a fucking grind. Like it was an actual Sigma grind set. I wonder how many hours just streamed the Battle for Bikini Bottom he has. Let me see. I'm going to look it up real quick. Would streamer charts tell me? Let's see. I can tell you for the last 30 days he has streamed no way, this is right. In the last 30 days he streamed 397 hours of Battle for Bikini Bottom in the last 30 days. There's 730 hours in a month. So he streamed, holy fuck. Like I said, man, this guy is full-blown Sigma grind. That is, yeah, I think that comes out to what, about 13 hours a day? 13, 14 hours a day? Oh, here we go. Actually, I just got it. He has 12,198 hours streamed of Battle for Bikini Bottom on Twitch. His second most streamed game is Super Mario Sunshine at 329 hours. So yeah, about 12.2k hours of Battle for Bikini Bottom, and that's only streamed. And I imagine most of his running, at least early, and probably with like routing, I always get that mixed up, is probably pushing it towards that 16,000 hour ballpark, I would say. Bro's dedicated his whole life to SpongeBob. Yeah, and that's, like I said in the clip, that's what he was saying. Like, he really committed to it, truly believing in the future of it. And he was right. He has a full career out of it now. So the gamble paid off. He's able to live off of the success of his talent in Battle for Bikini Bottom. Well, not only that, also his personality. People just also like him, so that definitely helps.